Colossus is not just a metal man, Adrian. He's made of metal. Oh my God. He's not some fucking jack dude wrapped in aluminum foil. No, he's not. Colossus is one of the strongest fucking Marvel characters, period.
Sure.
He's a class 100. He can effortlessly lift over 100 fucking tons. That's just his strength, let alone everything else about him. He's not some glorified babysitter like we saw in the X-Men movies. So, Colossus, Piotr Rasputin. He was born in the Soviet Union. He's a farm boy, Adrian. He's born near Lake Baikal. I don't know if I can say. He's born in Siberia, put it that way. A lot of characters in the comics are driven by revenge and trauma.
Sure.
Is that fair?
Yep.
Colossus, he's a peaceful motherfucker, dude. Back then, he was an artist, a pacifist in a lot of ways. He never wanted to be a superhero. He wanted to just tend to his crops and paint shit. He has a younger sister, Illyana. He loves his sister. Colossus, I would say, is probably like one of the best fucking big brothers in comics. Dude.
Sure.
His X gene was activated during a potential accident. So I told you he's a farm boy. They're on the farm. There's a runaway tractor, loses control. And where is it heading, Adrian? Right towards little Illyana. Peter just jumps right between his sister and the machine, sacrifices himself because he ain't gonna stop a fucking tractor. But in this very moment, his X gene activated, his skin turns into this solid metal, and he stops the machine dead in its tracks and saves his little sister, okay? His mutation, it affects his body on the cellular level. It's not just a coat of fucking metal that covers his skin, okay? He transmutes his skin, his muscle, his bone, and his internal organs. Even his eyes turn into this carbon-based organic steel. When he transforms, he grows about a foot taller, and his weight jumps to around 500 pounds. When he's armored up, though, he don't need to breathe. Doesn't need to eat or drink. He's immune to terrestrial diseases, extreme heat, and absolute zero. He can survive the vacuum of space, or he can walk on the fucking bottom of the ocean, dude, no problem. However, he cannot transform specific parts of his body by themselves. It's either all or nothing. He's highly vulnerable to vibranium, though. So vibranium will actually destabilize his metal form.
So despite all that strength,
Yep.
Black Panther will fuck him up.
There you go. He's vulnerable to magic as well. And if he's knocked unconscious while he's in this metal form, he automatically turns back into his
That
flesh
sucks.
and blood. Yeah, so don't get fucking knocked out. I would imagine it's pretty hard to knock out a fucking metal guy.
Sure.
But, let's talk about when he got recruited into the X-Men. So there's a giant size X-Men issue, X-Men #1, where Xavier recruits all these motherfuckers. He's traveling around, blanket in tow, and he tracks down Colossus. This is during the time where the X-Men are trapped on the mutant island of Krakoa, and Xavier puts together this all-new team. He goes to recruit Wolverine, Storm, Nightcrawler, and in that, he recruits Peter here, Colossus. He tracks him to his farm in Siberia. He asks him for help, and Peter did not want to leave because he just wants to be the farm boy. But it was almost one of those, like, power responsibility things. Hey, I'm this guy. And he saw this, he saw duty, Adrian, and the duty forced him to leave his family and leave his sister, his mother, his father, to go save some strangers.
Was it duty, or did Chuck massage his mind a little bit? Kind of tipped him over the edge.
To make matters worse, you know what he asked Colossus? He said, "Can you turn my blanket to organic metal?" No, he didn't. No, he didn't. So he joins the X-Men. They save the day. Oh, my God. And he's young, too. He's 19 years old when he joins. And he looks like an old fucking man. He's 19 years old. And a young girl by the name of Kitty Pryde joins the X-Men, Adrian. And she has this massive crush on Peter, you know, because he's a little bit older. So he keeps it strictly platonic. He acts as her protector. Kitty survives this terrifying fight against this demon, Nagare, whatever the fuck the name is. And in that, now she's a little bit older here. This is around Christmas time. They share a sweet kiss, Adrian, under the mistletoe, and that starts this whole romance between the two. Shortly after joining the team, Peter suffers his first major, failure to protect his sister. As much as he loves his sister, this demon lord, Belasco, kidnaps Illyana. She's like 7 years old, dude. He drags her into the hell dimension of Limbo. The X-Men rescue her like a few minutes later in Earth time.
I remember this.
Remember this?
Yeah.
She actually spent 7 years
Right.
trapped, being traumatized, and turned into this demonic sorceress named Magic, with a K, by the way. During the original Secret Wars, Colossus gets injured. He gets severely injured, and he's healed by this alien, Zaji, whatever the fuck her name is. He's healed by her, and this healing floods his brain with this kind of like emotional bond these two have now, right? He falls madly in love with her, so much that he forgets about Kitty. He's like, fuck her, right? And then Zaji sacrifices her own life to resurrect these fallen heroes towards the end of Secret Wars. And Colossus is left devastated now because he lost this chick. He feels guilty, though, because of him falling in love with somebody else while he's still with Kitty. And he actually tells Kitty about this. He tells her the truth, and they break up. He literally broke her heart. So Wolverine we've talked about how he looks at Jubilee, Kitty, as daughters of his, right? Wolverine's a protective motherfucker.
Right.
If he loves you, he's loyal as shit to you. And if he doesn't and he hates you, you're dead.
Right.
He's a all or nothing kind of guy. He is disgusted by Colossus. So he wants to teach him a lesson. Wolverine and his best fucking friend Nightcrawler, they take Colossus to a local bar. And Colossus is grieving, right? Because he lost his, new love. And then he even though this is fucked up, it pains him what he did to Kitty.
Sure.
Gets into this fight with this massive dude in street clothes, only to realize it's Kane Marco, Adrian. Well, who's Kane Marco? The motherfucking Juggernaut.
Right.
And Juggernaut beats the living fucking daylight out of Colossus, while Wolverine and Nightcrawler, they just sit back, watch. They're drinking their beers. They're enjoying this shit. They watching Colossus get humbled for breaking Kitty's heart.
Damn.
Bro, Wolverine's a real motherfucker, dude.
Right.
The Mutant Massacre, we talk about this in a lot of these deep dives, right? When the Marauders destroy the fucking innocent Morlocks. Colossus is someone that he's famous for having incredible restraint. He can deal with a lot of shit. But during this, he watches Riptide severely injure Nightcrawler and then slaughter these innocent Morlocks. And for the first time in the comics, we see Colossus, he drops this pacifist, this moral compass of his. He grabs Riptide by the throat and snaps his bitch ass neck, as he should have. During the Inferno event, Adrian, the demonic armor burns away from Illyana's soul, and she's de-aged. She turns back into a 7-year-old girl. So fucking Peter's got his little sister back, right? But like a lot of other events in comics, they don't last long, Adrian.
Right.
It's short-lived because of the motherfucking legacy virus, thanks to this asshole named Strife. What does legacy virus do? It targets mutants and kills them. It infects Illyana. The team tries to save her, but unfortunately she passes away in her bed as Jubilee is reading to her. And this fucking shatters Colossus even more. So he's broken at this point. And he realizes that Xavier's dream of turning the blanket to metal is not going to work. No, but Xavier's dream failed to protect his family. Peter shocks the comic world. During Illyana's funeral, he turns his back on the X-Men and he joins Magneto and the Acolytes out of pure anger and trauma. 8 years later in the comics, Beast finally engineers a cure for the legacy virus. Thing about it is, to activate it, a mutant would have to inject themselves with it. And then from there, that mutant would die. Then the cure would be activated in the atmosphere and cure everybody who has the virus.
Okay.
So you need a sacrificial lamb, right? Beast is like, we're not doing that. We're going to figure something else out. Because Colossus lost his sister to this, and his sister was everything to him.
Right.
He looked at it like, we don't have time to wait. We're going to lose more mutants the longer we wait to try to figure this out.
Sure.
So everyone's out of the lab. He sneaks in, locks the door, injects himself with this cure. He dies, so nobody else has to lose their sibling the way he did.
Sure.
So pretty honorable death, right? But it's the comics, Adrian. He stayed dead for a few years, 3 years or so. And Kitty Pryde is investigating this alien compound, and she phases through this massive metal vault door. Who does she discover in there? Very much alive? Colossus.
Mm.
So he had been secretly resurrected and experimented on by an alien named Ord. Of course. Colossus and Kitty have had an on again, off again romance, and they finally decide to get married in the comics. But right at the altar, Kitty gets cold feet. She uses her powers to let the ring fall through her hand, and then she fucking leaves him completely humiliated in front of the entire superhero community. Peter's villainous brother, Mikhail, uses a reality warping mutant known as the Chronicler to turn Colossus into a sleeper agent. Good old mind control, always in the comics, right? So what a great fucking brother. He's going to mind control his own brother. During this, Peter's mind is awake, but it's trapped while he's forced to sabotage Krakoa and murder his own girlfriend, Kayla, at the time with his bare hands. What a fucking brother, huh? And then X-Force uncovers the truth. Colossus shatters the control that the Chronicler has on him. And after years of psychological torture and grief, Peter confronts his brother Mikhail face to face, and he kills his brother with a final fucking brutal reckoning for his bitch ass. So, hence to say, don't fuck with Colossus.
Right.
He's a guy who started out as a pacifist, started out as a peaceful individual, but it just goes to show you, dude, you can only deal with so much shit. After enough trauma, after seeing enough people around you being victimized, eventually you're gonna snap. And he did a couple times. So, Colossus, that is who this motherfucker is. He ain't some bitch ass babysitter for the X-Men. He is a motherfucking menace.